Hey, what's going on, y'all? Bringing you another episode of Aspects Land of a Changing Man. I'm your host, Gold. Bringing you another episode. Um, Sorry, I may be moving around a little bit because I'm in the process of cooking chicken bacon tacos. So I'm hoping that goes well. I forgot to get the sour cream, but I'm hoping it still turns out as good as I usually make it. But other than that, hit me up, mplsmikid at gmail.com, at yahoo.com, mplsmikid at in Instagram and Twitter, at mplsmikid at Twitter. Um, I forget what else that I have on there, but for the information. But let's get into the episode. I do thank you guys for joining me today, and today is going to be a good episode. The reason I feel like it's going to be a good episode is because today I got proven very wrong, and I had to put a Facebook post on there because of the fact that I was proven wrong. I actually went to a friend of mine and was like, "Man, I'm giving these good topics, and I'm running out of things to talk about. Man, I don't even know if I'm gonna have things to talk about anymore." And I was sitting here chilling, and then guy was like, "No, you ain't done. You'll never be done learning. And as long as I got you, as long as you're doing this, you're gonna be learning. So you got to continue learning. You won't know it all. You won't know everything that you need to know." As far as doing this, you're gonna learn something every day. I'm gonna teach you something every day, and I actually um, was open to that, and I put it on Facebook that it is hard for you to grow with a person who is who feels like they don't have to grow, or they feel like they're done growing. And that's a powerful message because a lot of people do say to in relationships that they want to be with somebody they want to grow with, and they want to grow with someone, they want to grow with someone. But at the same time, if you feel like you're done growing, or you're grown in the aspect of learning how to be in a relationship, that person cannot grow with you because you're already grown. That's not the topic today, but it's something that I thought was really important that I wanted to get off my mind as far as everything. Um, Today I want to talk about duct taping issues. You know, um, and what I mean by that is, putting something on something, putting something to max something, and thinking that it will stop the bleeding or stop the air from getting out. And I'll give you a little backstory. So I was laying on a air mattress, and it had a hole in it, and the air kept seeking out. And I was looking for the hole. I knew it was a hole because the air doesn't seek out of a good air mattress, but it was a hole in it. And eventually I found the hole, after listening for all these little whispers and trying to find it, and finally found it. And I was starting to think about, covering it up and what I had to cover it up. So I look around and I find some duct tape. And I try to put it on the hole, and knowing right then and there, I should have knew this in the first place that duct tape isn't going to work. Plus, it don't look good in the first place. So, if it don't look good, you don't want it on something like an air mattress. But as you air the mattress back up, it adds pressure to that, and the duct tape, fell off, and I heard the whistles again, and I felt the bed going flat. So then I was thinking, well, I gotta apply a little bit more tape on the side of here and the side of there and the side of there, and it'll stop it. It'll basically tape it down from being able to, for the air to be to stop being able to get out. And I was thinking that it was gonna work, but eventually the air was too strong. When you want the bed at a perfect size and a perfect feeling, your pressure and that pressure of the air is going to push up on that duct tape and basically knock it off. So, and what I was trying to get to by saying that is that we got to watch the tape versus the air, especially when it comes to the stuff that we do, especially in relationships, because that's what we tend to do in relationships is put a duct tape over things and hope that it'll cover up what we have going on as an issue. And for you to actually fix something like a air mattress, you have to apply the right things to that hole to keep it from seeping out. You know, duct tape is not going to help at all. It's not going to help. No matter how much you got to put it in a weird type of way. You got to wrap it in a weird type of way for it to be able to hold the air inside of what you want it to, and it won't look good. So we got to watch how we do that in relationships because that is something that a lot of people tend to do. Uh, so for me, I found some gorilla glue, stuff like that to be able to put it on there, and it may not look the prettiest, but it's something that you know um, actually helped out at that point in time to where that air wasn't getting out. And this was a good air mattress. I'm talking about good air mattress. So for it to have a hole in it was like weird, but you see it and you're like, oh man. But we want to have, when it comes to that type of theory, there's two things that you want to do in a relationship. Especially when it comes to the theory of the air mattress, you not only want that hole to get fixed, but you want to be aired back up. And if that hole isn't fixed, no matter how many times you air yourself back up, it's still going to come out that hole. That hole is going to show. It's going to whisper to you that this air is coming out. So that's the number one thing that we got to watch about. We should be able to look to fix those problems in the right way, and hope that we can air ourselves back up to get back into the shape that'll make people comfortable around us again. I believe this relationships has went in a different way since back in the days. Back in the old days, they had religion to keep them on a backbone. To be in a relationship. So they basically went to when everything wasn't as perfect. They basically relied on religion to have them stay in the relationships that they're in. And after a while, relationship wasn't working, so they kept it with morals. And morals was a thing that you didn't want other people looking at you wrong for the things that you got caught doing. And today we don't have morals. Today we have feelings. We basically have went to the feeling zone. So no religion keeps us together. We don't rely on religion to keep us together. We don't rely on morals to keep us together. We rely on our feelings and how we feel about the relationship to keep us together these days. And I want to get into the ways that we actually duct tape a relationship. When things aren't going perfect, when you really like a person and everything seems all beautiful and sunny, and you start getting into that mode where you're getting comfortable with them, you may have things that pop up out of nowhere as issues, as far as like insecurity. And a lot of people get insecure because of their looks, because of how much money they have, or they get insecure because of the past that they experienced, or they start thinking about what a person would do to them or what they are doing to them, and they start doing things like getting controlling. They try to control the person in different type of ways to where the person can't really do things without having the approval of the person that they're with, because the other person hasn't worked on their issues. They haven't fixed them issues. So they feel like if that person does everything that I need them to do, this relationship will work out. We can last a long time because I'll be happy then if they can keep securing me in those ways. And you may become, and little people may move a little bit further. They may get abusive, physically abusive and verbally abusive and manipulating, you know, manipulative, and that's a sign of mental abuse. Just because you can't control a person, you get physical with them. You're hoping that your hands will make it so that you can control the issue. You may talk down to them and make yourself feel better than them by having them not being able to respond to your disses towards them. You may try to manipulate them. A lot of people don't know what gaslighting is. Gaslighting is where you make a person believe something even though they see it with their eyes. That is true. You make it. You make it so they believe whatever you're saying over whatever is happening. It was actually a movie out back in the past. I learned this in anger management class. But there was a movie out. It was called Gaslighting. And basically what happened was the guy was tricking her to thinking there was no sun coming out. Even though she could look outside and see there was a sun, he was tricking her he was manipulating her into believing that the sun was not out. So there will be people that actually make you believe that you're wrong, even though they did something wrong in the process. And I mean, it's a lot of people that do that these days. As far as just driving, if you get into an accident, everybody will try to prove that they're wrong, even though the person knew that he was not supposed to pull out or drive that fast or not be on the cell phone or anything else. They'll try to make it that it's your fault. They're trying to make you believe that it's your fault. And people will do that in relationships. You'll get into an argument and they'll start blaming you for their wrongdoings, or they'll say something wrong and you'll say, "Hey, don't say that to me," and they'll call you abusive. I was in that type of relationship where no matter how I responded to them, they were saying that I was abusive. I was verbally abusive to them, even though I wasn't. They were still turn it on me, even though they were calling me stupid, they were calling me retarded, they would do whatever. But if I was like, "Hey, that's wrong for you to do that," their response was, "You're abusive." And it got to a point where I started thinking about if they were right, because they were saying it so convincingly that I was like, man, I started to wonder if they were right. So we come to a point where it's instead of trying to see your wrongs, they'll put that tape over that air that'll that little issue, the little issues that they cannot fix within themselves. To try to make things perfect for them, they'll do things to their partner, and which is not right. You got to fix yourself. You got to have these issues. I'm a insecure person, and when it comes to like looks and thinking that somebody looks better than me or something like that. But I want to control myself over the issue. I want to try to fix whatever issue I have within myself to not have it where I'm arguing with them over something stupid, because of my insecurity. A person may and then we come to the point where a person doesn't want to fix the problems in the relationship, or they can't talk to the person, or the other person won't talk to them, but they want to stay in the relationship, so they cheat. Instead of working it out with their partner, instead of talking to their partner, instead of going to get the help that they need to fix the problems with their partner, they go and find some attention within somebody else. They go do things with someone else, or find a comfort, or let someone invade their space to get close enough to let them see, I want your attention. Instead of because it's like the movie Temptation. She wasn't used to that life, but just letting that guy in that close to where he was able to do things and let you see the excitement in him that you didn't see at home. Instead of fixing the problems at home because you thought that he wasn't wanting to be as exciting as that guy, you end up going down another road. So that, to me, that is duct taping an